Picked up 3 titles for the exotica section recently. I went to Soma Sound on the border of Maplewood and West Orange here in North Jersey. And I got this album by Robert Drasnin, Percussion Exotique. This is a different cover. It used to be called Voodoo. He was an American composer and multi-instrumentalist who composed music for TV shows Lost in Space, Chips, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Mission Impossible, and The Twilight Zone. And at some point, before that, he played with Tommy Dorsey and Red Norvo. His label wanted him to do an exotica record. In 1959, he did put out Voodoo, which had a different cover, and this is the exact same record. The cover was a voodoo exploitation type picture of a woman dancing around a fire, probably holding a chicken up. I don't know why they changed the cover and why they changed the title, but it's the exact same record. So, Primitive Paradise, early exotica from 1920 to 1947. This is, again, a mixed bag of ethnicity: Chinese and Arabian rumba, Hawaiian Western swing, early exotica. It's from, I think it's taken all from 78s. And even though exotica was kind of rooted in the early 50s with Les Baxter and Martin Denny and guys like that, going back to the 20s in vaudeville, especially the more risque numbers, they would incorporate sounds from Asia and the Middle East and Africa, and this is a representation of that. And boy, my family's going to be thrilled. Tumba Rumba, the most torrid tropical Latin record ever. Well, I don't know about that. A collection of fast, hot, and intense Latin played music by Cuban, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, Mexican, and North American dance orchestras from the 50s. This is fantastic, and I wish they made as many compilations like this as they do rockabilly compilations. I'd have about 40 of these. Next up, Roscoe Gordon. Holds a special place in my heart. He was a jump blues guy. He recorded for Sun, VJ, Chess Records. His song Booted in 1952 and also Doggin in 52 were hits. And in 1959, he just wrote Just a Little Bit, which is a blues classic, and Magic Sam does a killer version as well as many people. But when I was a kid in my 20s, living in Manhattan, I went to see Roscoe at a dive bar in the East Village, and it was just a wonderful memory. Very hot day in New York City, and the heat's coming off the asphalt, and it was this tiny bar with like window unit air conditioning just bombing away. $2 long neck beers. Roscoe Gordon was playing with Bob Gaddy, who's an East Coast piano player of the same age. And being a dive bar, there was no really green room or backstage. We just kind of made our way to the back room where the cases of beer were kept, and thought we started talking to Roscoe Gordon, but we started talking to Bob Gaddy. And I'll never forget, he's like, "My name's Bob Gaddy, damn it, I'm not Roscoe Gordon." Roscoe popped up, we chatted with him, it was a killer show. I talked to him afterwards, and it was just a wonderful memory of living in the city years ago, back in the 90s. So whenever I see a Roscoe Gordon compilation, I've already got 2 on Ace, I pick it up anyway, just to, so this will be my 3rd, even if there's overlap. Found this, again, I got this at Soma Sounds. Bill Laswell's first record, everybody knows him, produced a million records. This is typical fusion art rock type stuff, his first solo record. Udi Hrant, Turkish Delights. This is Armenian folk with a jazz flavor. He started playing his career in Istanbul, and in the 60s, 64 to be specific, Prestige, which is a jazz label, released this. So it's kind of a jazz Armenian folk combo, and I was really psyched to see it in the bins. Bitchin' Bajas. I picked up a record from them a few weeks ago that was a cover of Sun Ra songs. Apparently it's 2 people on a bunch of vintage analog synthesizers. Well, this I had to have because they're doing an exact copy of Frippinino's Evening Star. Not the whole album, but the song Evening Star is like the opening song on this. I'm not going to say note for note, but they're playing Evening Star, and the rest of it is like vintage analog synthesizers, guitar playing over it. So if you're a fan of this record, you should really check out this record, and I'm quite happy I did. Finally, I stopped into Almost Ready here in Montclair, and I picked up this compilation, Savage Kick, one of a gazillion compilations out there floating around of like old jump blues and R&B and greasy greasy early rock and roll. That's it. And of course, collector's itch is kicking in because I looked online. This is volume 3, and there's at least 10 volumes. So I got my work cut out for me. That's it.